Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be breaking down Baker Mayfield in a film session and just breaking down what he brings to his new team. Before we get started, though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So like we do in all these videos, we start with the stats, and Mayfield in 2021 kind of struggled. I mean, if you look at the numbers, only played in 14 games. Remember, he was dealing with that shoulder problem that kind of limited him for parts of the season. Only 60% completion percentage, 3,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. And, you know, probably the worst numbers of his career, really. He just didn't look to be completely there. And that's why the Browns decided, okay, we've had enough. We're going to go out and get Deshaun Watson. But I still think he's got some left in the tank. Remember, this is a guy that turned around the Browns franchise when he became their quarterback back in 2018. Remember, they had years and years of not making the playoffs, really struggled. And with him under center, we're able to make the playoffs and we're able to really turn the franchise around to a team that went 11-5 in 2020. And sure, they made some moves and they made some acquisitions to be able to do that. And they made some smart draft picks and they signed some guys in free agency that really allowed for that. But without the strong quarterback play of Baker Mayfield, none of that would have been possible. In the modern era, before, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield has been, Cleveland's best quarterback. It's really that simple. So that said, let's dive into the film session, show what he brings to the table for his new team. Okay, so when we look at Baker Mayfield, I notice a couple things. The number one thing I notice is he's a prototypical gunslinger. He's a gunslinger quarterback. He's the quarterback that isn't going to throw the deep ball especially well. He's not going to be super accurate. But what he's going to be able to do is he's going to have a powerful arm in between the numbers, be able to throw outside the numbers with some accuracy towards the sideline, be a kind of field general guy. And almost in a way, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Ryan Fitzpatrick, just a lot better and a lot more mobile than Ryan Fitzpatrick. But he kind of reminds me of the guy who's just going to throw the ball into places and see what happens, kind of thing. So on this play right here, he's going to have Austin Hooper in the seam route, and he's kind of be just running right to the end zone like that. And you're going to see as this play develops, Mayfield just see where the defense is and where it isn't. So what's going to happen is Hooper is going to be matched up kind of, in the zone defense almost, where he's going to kind of slip by this linebacker here, and it's going to be two safeties over here, right? So they're going to be covering over here, and then this linebacker is going to be here, and this linebacker is going to be here, and Hooper's kind of trying to get to this area, right? And that's kind of where he's trying to get to in this defense. And as Hooper gets there, you're just going to see him do a really good job slipping past his defender. Mayfield recognizes that, and he recognizes that there's a really small, tight window for him to throw the ball into. Because remember, he can't throw it too far this way because then these defenders come into play. He can't throw it, obviously, too shallow because then this underneath defender comes. And remember, there's a backside defender over here coming over here. So he really has to put this ball right there in between all those defenders. And that's exactly what he does. This is an excellently thrown ball. It's, remember, away from this defender, away from these defenders, and away from him, right to the middle of the end zone for the touchdown. This is a really well-thrown football by Baker Mayfield above the linebackers and into his receiver's arms for the touchdown. This is a really high-level throw from Baker Mayfield, and this is kind of what he does. He sits back in the pocket, surveys the field, finds the open man, and throws the football. With some power here. But here's a little bit of finesse to getting it over the linebackers and in front of the safeties for the touchdown. But he's also got a little bit of finesse. He's not just a pure power guy. On this play here, it's a one-on-one outside matchup here with the receiver and the cornerback. And the Bengals are going to have this safety over here drop back into coverage, right? He's going to drop back right into coverage. So that's kind of what the defense is going to look like. And this wide receiver is going to kind of try and run almost like a go route, really, towards that outside, trying to hit that sideline so that Baker Mayfield can kind of throw it back shoulder and protect the football here. And it's going to be another just really well thrown football by Baker Mayfield. And that's something that he struggled with in his career. The completion percentage on this play, really not an issue. He puts the ball where it needs to be. The accuracy at times in his career has been kind of bad, but you're going to see the receiver able to create a little separation. Mayfield feels the pressure here from Trey Hendrickson there, and is simply going to throw that ball. Feels the pressure, gets kind of hit too. I mean, he's able to get it off cleanly, but gets hit too. Still able to make the throw here, and just look at where it is. So once again, I was talking about that safety in the middle of the field, but this is put in a perfect spot where the safety isn't able to have enough time to simply get over it. There's separation between these receivers. he's putting it right in between these two defenders, right for his receiver to run under it and catch it. And yeah, the receiver's still going to get kind of hit here and laid out, but this is a really well thrown ball just because it's away from the defenders into the open space and it's on the money here. What an accurately thrown ball from Baker Mayfield. Still got hit too. This is a really just good job here by Mayfield. And once again, it's the gunslinger mentality here from Baker Mayfield. This time it's going to be David Njoku running kind of a post route towards the middle of the field. And you're going to see that there's not a massive window. But he's still going to try and get the ball into it, and he's still going to try and force it in there. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So Mayfield drops back, right, surveys the field, feels the pressure, steps up in the pocket. Really good job here. He feels that pressure right here and just decides to fling it. And this is a really good decision by him. Look at this power in this throw here. Really tight window, but once again, the ball is on the money. David Njoku's here. There's a defender right on his back. There's a defender over here. This is a small, tight window for Baker Mayfield to throw this ball in, but he powers it home for the score and for the touchdown for Njoku to go up and grab it. This is a well-thrown ball. This is a powerful thrown ball. This is the gunslinger mentality that I've been talking about. That is really Baker Mayfield's, mantra in a way. It's his go-to. It's what he does at the quarterback position, just firing balls in, and that's what he's able to do. Really nice catch by Njoku, but this is just the ability to throw this football with power. This is a 18-yard touchdown catch on 3rd and goal with pressure in his face. He's going to get hit after it. Just fires it in there for the score. Really tight window too. But he's got the power and he's got the confidence to make these plays. Another thing I like about Baker Mayfield is some of his escapability. This guy can escape pressure, he can escape the pocket, and he can get away from defenders. On this play here, he's going to drop back in the pocket, right? He's going to try and survey the field. He's not going to really see anything. And the Steelers bring blitz here, right? There's a lot of pressure in Baker Mayfield's face. And it's getting there. He doesn't really have anywhere to go with the football. He doesn't really have his check down option. He wanted to go here, but he's pretty covered up. And Mayfield's going to feel that. So he's going to try and move this way, realize that there's really nowhere to go because this edge is being set over here. And that's pushing him out that way. But he's got the mobility. He's got the escapability to move away from this pressure. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to just run, and just get to the edge faster than the defenders. Look to turn upfield, and he's not afraid of moving in open space. He doesn't just take a slide here, keeps running, puts his head down, tries to pick up those extra yards, and is able to do so here on this play. Really just fantastic job by Baker Mayfield, just showing that he's got some legs with him too, and he's got the ability to run with the football and make plays on the run. Also, when he's in good sync with his receivers, I really like the chemistry that he has. On this play here, he's going to have this receiver running kind of an out route, more or less. And just look at the the timing on his throw. When Baker Mayfield's in sync with his receivers, I saw this a couple times with Odell Beckham Jr. When Odell Beckham Jr. played for the Browns. He had some good chemistry on the field with Baker Mayfield. I know off the field they had some, disagreements, and they weren't always the best of friends, and maybe OBJ wanted the ball a little bit more. But when Baker Mayfield was throwing him the ball, they had really good chemistry and really good timing. If you watched some Browns games, but on this play here, it's just going to be once again the timing. Couple step drop back, just waiting for the pressure to get to him and fling that ball before it can with just pure accuracy. And that's the thing. When Baker Mayfield's in a clean pocket, his 3 seconds to throw, 4 seconds to throw is clean, just comfortable. He's really accurate. It's more when he's being rushed, he's being pushed outside the pocket, he's having to make plays on the run. That's when we get to some issues. But he's honestly really accurate, especially when he's got good timing and good chemistry with his receivers, as he does on this play right here. And honestly, this play is something that I would think is really one of his weaknesses, throwing the deep ball. On this play here, he is able to do it. And don't get me wrong, Baker Mayfield can throw the deep ball. He can hit the deep passes. But at the end of the day, that's not his strong suit. His strong suit is 15 to 20 yards, intermediate passing game with power and strength, and getting his receivers in open space and kind of just pinpointing them out and hitting those pinpoints. That's kind of his game, right? Putting balls into small, tight windows where he really has to power a football in. That's more of his game. His game is not really taking the deep shots, but here he's going to do it. And this receiver is going to just run right into the heart of the defense and right past the defense. And Baker Mayfield, when he's got the time in the pocket and he doesn't really have pressure in his face, on this play he actually does have pressure in his face, and he's able to launch it. But he doesn't have the biggest arm when it comes to throwing that deep ball. He's got a powerful arm, but not like a deep ball arm. and he's able to throw this football. And this is actually a really well thrown ball. There's separation between the receiver and the corner, and this ball comes in a perfect spot, perfect angle, perfect trajectory for the receiver to go up and grab it, and it's perfectly in stride. As I said, this I don't think is one of Mayfield's strong suits, but it's something he can definitely do. He can definitely throw those deep balls, and here he's able to do it for a touchdown, as the Browns are able to extend their lead against the Bengals here. But nonetheless, this is just a really well thrown ball by Mayfield, showing just something else that he can do too, throwing that deep ball.
So with that said, Baker Mayfield, I think, is a great addition to the Carolina Panthers. They gave up a 5th-round pick for Baker Mayfield. That's more or less what it is, and it's a pick that could become a 4th-round pick depending on some things. But more importantly, I think this is a good fit in Carolina. For starters, it's not necessarily a guaranteed job for him. Sure, he's got Sam Darnold to compete with. They also drafted, I think they drafted Matt Corral in the 3rd round in the draft. So they've got some quarterbacks in there, but Baker Mayfield's going to be the starter. He's going to have to compete for it. He's going to have to earn it a little bit, but I think he's going to be the guy. And I really like the fit in Carolina because of the other playmakers they have there. They have Robby Anderson, who spoke out on social media and basically was like, I don't want Baker Mayfield to come. But I still think he's a good fit. He's a guy who can spread the field. Baker Mayfield, once again, a gunslinger, a guy who really wants to throw the ball downfield into tighter windows. And that's why we've seen a lot of issues with him. But I think that if his shoulder's healthy, if his shoulder's ready to go, that's going to be a really good connection. But more importantly, DJ Moore, I think, is really the guy that we have to look out for here. Moore has been a Pro Bowl type player over the past couple seasons, 1,000-yard receiver, big time catch guy, racks up the catches, yards after catch, and is, I guess, comparable to Jarvis Landry, maybe slightly more explosive at this point in his career than Jarvis Landry. Yards after catch guy who's a all-around threat at the wide receiver position. But a big thing about Carolina and some of the success that Baker Mayfield had in Carolina was the presence of a run game. And Carolina, they do have a run game. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, when he's able to stay healthy, is the league's best running back, or arguably the league's best running back, definitely in that top 5 conversation. And yeah, health's been a concern there, but he is a dynamic offensive threat, also out of the backfield too. And he's able to be that powerful runner and that explosive runner, kind of like Nick Chubb was. Different running style than Nick Chubb, but a guy who can really be productive on the ground like Nick Chubb, will also have the ability out of the backfield to catch footballs and make plays like Kareem Hunt. So he's got the running backs there that he's comfortable with, and that kind of running back that he's comfortable with. But more importantly, Chuba Hubbard, another option too. And obviously Terrance Marshall Jr. at the wide receiver position, a guy they picked up in the draft a couple of years ago in the 2nd round out of LSU, a guy who I'm looking to see a big jump in production from him next season. But overall, I think Mayfield's got the weapons. He's got the deep ball ability, he's got the throw power, and there are some really good weapons in Carolina with McCaffrey, Robby Anderson, and DJ Moore to highlight them as some really good players to really target with the football. And I think Mayfield's going to have tons of options. And, at this point in his career, obviously the Panthers went out and really focused on the offensive line, brought an offensive lineman in the draft to really shore up the tackle position. And with that said, I think this is a really good move by Carolina to go out and get a potential quarterback. And hey, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And you'll look into the draft next year and try and get a quarterback of the future. But overall, I think this is a really good opportunity for Mayfield when playing well. He's a top 15 quarterback in the league. So I think this is a good move from Carolina, and I really like the weapons around Mayfield, and I think there's a potential for a lot of success here.
And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.